Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next episode in this XM5 by TOXICANT series, and today we're going to talk about magazines. These are probably some of the coolest looking and feeling magazines that I've ever seen in airsoft, and definitely they are very individual looking, which I think is a big selling point of this replica. I think a lot of people think, hey, I know exactly what that is. Based on kind of what the magazine is and how big this magwell is. It looks very, very similar to the MCX Spear LT from Sig Sauer, but this is the kind of military version with the 6.8 by 51 round, as you can see there. So obviously this is not a real firearm, this is a replica, but they actually do this replica in two different styles of mag, which I think is probably the first time I've ever seen that. So this thing is the same replica, but it is not a CO2 or gas version. They do a CO2 and a green gas mag. So this is the green gas mag. They look almost identical. I think we worked out that in terms of weight, this one is lighter, which is the green gas. And this one is slightly heavier. So this is about 1 pound. This is about 1.3 pounds. So about 30% heavier than actually the standard mag. That is not including a CO2 capsule. So what these guys are going to take is one of these. I don't normally like CO2 guns. I have to say that for me, it kind of feels annoying having to change out an actual CO2 cartridge, and the element of not knowing how much CO2 is left in the actual cartridge is really annoying to me. I like green gas more because actually I live in a place which is warm, Southern California, so green gas generally works throughout the year, and I also like that I can know which mags I've used. I'll usually put them in a dump pouch, and then I can literally just go and top up with gas when I'm in the safe zone between games, as opposed to, do I need to change this CO2 cartridge? Should I bring some CO2 cartridges with me out into the field? And that's what I prefer. However, I know that if you live in a colder climate, CO2 works pretty much most of the year. If you're in the UK, for instance, during the winter, it's very, very hard to run green gas. And so having a CO2 option, I think, is awesome. However, normally you need to have two different replicas, maybe a CO2 version, usually in a pistol format, or a green gas version, and you can try and switch between the two. What I love is that you have almost identical looking mags that will do the same thing, supposedly, and they run on the same platform. So what I'm going to do today is, you can probably see there is a chronograph behind me. I'm going to show you just the loading method, kind of actually how you're going to put BBs, how you're going to put gas into each of these. I'm then going to, gas into this one, CO2 cartridge into this one. I'm then going to actually do a chrono just in terms of what the FPS is, how fast they're firing on 0.25 gram BBs, and then I'm actually going to show you the RPS, the rate of fire, and just let's have a look if they're kind of firing at the same. I already did a test on one of my previous videos. This is going to be a lot shorter, but on my previous videos, if you want to go back and watch that, I talk through this in a lot more detail. And you can actually see me feeling the recoil of one of the gas mags compared to the CO2 mags. And I have to say, I might be a little bit of a convert to the CO2, so much so that I think I might order some CO2 mags for this replica. So this is the XM5. It's a variant of the XM7, has got the forward assist. They changed the name before they did it to the US military or US forces. Go to standard platform that's going to replace the AR platform. But these are the mags. They are pretty big. They are not the size of your standard AR mag. Obviously, it's holding a bigger caliber. That is a Guns Modify P mag here, and this is the actual. So it's shorter and it is a lot fatter that way. So this is going to really fit in M110 kind of pouches, your DMR style 7.62 kind of style rounds. I think these are very comparable to the Sega 12 by TM mags, and I've done that previously. I'll show you that as well. It is an episode about mags, so I probably should do that. So this very much is, for me, compatible in terms of size. The actual capacity of this is 28 rounds. That's the same with the gas blowback and the same with the CO2. So your standard one here, this is a 30. You know, that's kind of what you're going to have with your AR gas blowback magazines. The other one is a 45, but on that replica, the Sega 12, you're doing 3-round bursts, so it's really only 15 trigger pulls. But this is 28. I think it's pretty good. I think the size of it hopefully means that the mag capacity is pretty good in terms of gas. We'll figure that out. CO2, it's not going to make much difference. But I'm quite excited just to see what the difference is in terms of specifically FPS, but also with rounds per second. So I'm going to put this guy to the side. I'm going to start off with the green gas mag. These mags are great, but they're also kind of annoying, where you have to get rid of this base plate in the bottom. You have to basically push down this little plate here and then slide the bottom cap off. With the green gas, it has your fill valve right there underneath. And so I will take my green gas. I actually filled this a bit earlier, so I won't have to put much in here. But I normally will just kind of put it in. I'll angle it so that the fatter part is there, and I'll just kind of count and I'll listen. And if it sounds like it's full, that's what I'm going to do. Now, I actually, a lot of the time, will run my green gas mags or my gas blowback rifles in the format of having an HPA adapter. So it'll be an adapter that goes into the mag well. It will then attach to an HPA tank, which means I can, actually use it kind of unlimited with AEG mags. The problem I think this is going to be, this is a $1,600 replica, and I can't necessarily see the usual companies like TAC or TAP or AirTAC making a actual just a adapter just for this, because it's going to be one of very few probably that are sold, so the market for them is not going to be very big. So I don't know if you're going to be able to run this in the standard HPA mag adapter format. Maybe they will do that, but that is just something to bear in mind, is if you're thinking, hey, I want to get it and I will, I don't mind paying for it because I'm going to run it HPA. I don't necessarily think that's going to be possible. So I'm going to use my Vanguard speed loader. I'm actually going to put 18 rounds into this. I'm going to do it the same for both. So we're going to go with, let me just unlock it. Okay, I'm going to get my Jaeger Precision mag adapter. So this is for the standard MWS. We found that these feed lips are the standard MWS feed lips. So if you have any MWS adapters, then that's what's going to kind of fit or make it work. So it should hopefully work with something like your... That's a good question. Will it work with like an Odin speed loader? I think if it's one where you're sticking the top of the mag into it, maybe not. So maybe this is going to be a very, very big seller for Jaeger Precision, because if you're using the Odin, you can't really put it in, because this is going to be a different profile than actually what's going to allow it to go into that adapter for the speed loader. Whereas you basically just need a speed loader adapter just for the feed lips. So that's our first 18 rounds. I'm going to get my very cool glasses on and we'll turn on this chronograph. This is an Ace Tech, what do they call it? An Ace Tech, oh God, I haven't charged it. No, I have. Yes, that could have been a really bad end to this video. Okay, so this is going to go with... Oh, now I've just turned it off. Turned it on again. We're going to go with... hold on, why does it keep turning off? I'm going to change this to 0.25 gram BBs. So we're going to just do the FPS test to start with. Then I'm going to do the rounds per second. And then we're going to get an idea of what the actual shot capacity is for this mag. It's a fully loaded magazine. So I actually might change this slightly here, so I have that there. Okay, so we're going with, that is a 297, so that's actually firing a little bit lighter than it was previously. That was wrong, that was 127. 314, 324, 321, 327, 316, 324, 322, 315, 315, 320, 315, 318, 311, 314, 328. So So that's basically kind of where it was yesterday when I was testing it. It basically is kind of in line with that 320-ish FPS. Now, we had some variation on those first ones, so I'm not entirely sure why that was the case. Well, I just did a 44 BB load, which obviously was not going to fit in this mag because it is a 28 round capacity. So that is slightly annoying, but it means that I have filled this mag now, and we'll keep going just in terms of getting the actual... See, that slam, when I put that mag in, it released the bolt. And some people in the comments yesterday said that could be because the ZEP plate is getting worn. And apparently with these Toxicant ZEP plates, it's the plate that kind of pops up and holds the bolt when it's empty. Apparently they can, with the angle of them, get worn really quickly. And so that's going to be something I'm going to check in the next video and just kind of look at the wear and tear that we're getting so far. Because that's something that I do want to make sure I'm checking for you guys. Right. So that is 315, 316, 313, 314, 310, 311, 310, 311, 304, 308, 304, 308, 302, 303, 294, 297, 304, 294, 297, 292, 305. So that's 2 mags. That's 39 rounds is what that's saying. So we'll just go with another one quickly and just see. Let me not put this on 44. Let's put this on 18 again. Okay, so that's another 18 rounds. I love this speed loader. It makes my life so much more easy. Okay, so again, that slammed. We'll see if that's going to be an issue going forward. Right, so that is 305. We've got 39. That's 40. That's at 304, 303, 295, 293, 288, 291, 290, 284, 288, 282, 283, 287, 283, 278, 275, 277, 273, 275, 266, and that is 279. So it's staying pretty consistent. I would say with green gas, it's going to have that slowdown. That is on 60 shots. So that is going to be effectively 2 full mags and a bit just on one fill of green gas. And that's pretty solid just firing on the same one. So I think the mag capacity on this is going to be good just for the actual, the gas capacity just kind of for those mags. Right, so let's see if this happens again. Yeah, see, every time I'm putting that in now, it's bolt releasing without me doing it. And I think that that could be a problem. So I'm going to keep checking that out, guys. Let me know if there's any fix that you know. So that's 291, 291, 2983, 277, 274, 276, 269, 253, 269, 268, 271, 264, 259, 258, 260, 254, 253, 251, 242, and that's not cycling. So that last one didn't lock. It did empty the mag. So we're looking right there at 78 rounds. Obviously towards the end there, because I'm constant firing this thing, it's not giving us that same FPS, and that is fairly cold, but obviously I can only feel this part of the mag that's actually cold. So let me just fill this up quickly. And then what I'll do is I'll just do an RPS. So we're looking really there at about 320 is, 320 to 340 when you're starting. And we had 78 rounds out of that. So that's a pretty good, you're kind of at least kind of doing maybe 3 full fills of BBs per gas fill. So I think you're looking really good with that. Right, let's do quickly. Now this again is a mag that is cold. So I would just say that the rate of fire may be slightly off what the full rate of fire is, but we'll figure out what that is going to be now. I'm going to re-wrap this, and we will go with full auto. Okay, so that is saying we are 28 rounds per second. That can't be right. That is, sorry, I'm going to reset this quickly. You know what I might do actually is I'm going to let that mag heat up, just because I'm going to go to the CO2 mag, and then we're gonna let that one heat up a bit. Oh, I didn't fully attach my flashlight on there, so that's why that's come off. Right, so I am going to now fill the CO2 mag. So to show you guys what to do here, the base plate, when you remove it, it's got that same thing. Here it has a area that you're going to put that CO2 into. You're going to need a very big hex key. This is actually a Torx, but it's going to do the same job. So that's going to be, this is a size T50, and that fits perfectly in here. So I'm going to undo this right there. I'm going to unscrew it. I'm going to take that out. It's kind of just a little cap. I'm then going to put one of these 12-gram CO2 cartridges in there, face down. I'm going to put this back in, and then I'm going to get my T50, or it'll be an H50, I think, for your hex. You just clamp it down, and then I'm going to do a couple of hard... Okay, so that had a little bit of gas release there. It's not actually doing that now, so that might have just purged a little bit. But I think we should be fine. So, right, so this is the gas mag. I am going to get my adapter. Sorry, the CO2 mag. I'm really having a shocker today. Okay, so that's put my 18 rounds right in there. I think actually there may be a round chambered, which there is. So I'm going to pull the action. That's not going to change anything. I'm going to put this CO2 mag in. And what we are going to do is do semi-auto, and we're going to test it. Okay, so that didn't register. 451, 459. Okay, so the kick on this is significantly more. I would say like the recoil is maybe twice what it is, and it's firing 100 FPS harder. It was firing at 320 to 340. It's now firing at 459, 438, 440, 436, 424, 414, 405, 397, 402, 388, 374, 368, 354, 346, 337, 321, 331. So we've gone from 450, which is that full CO2 mag, down to 331. That was 20 rounds that we put out there. Do another 18. I think it's going to be interesting to see the actual gas capacity on this, because that dropped off quite significantly just from that first one right down. I need to tighten the stock on this. So I would say just from the recoil of this, it seems to be loosening stuff. Like the stock I hadn't put on super tight, but that is loosened the stock, and it obviously loosened where I hadn't fully attached the flashlight, and again that slammed shut. So let's go again. 369, 362, 339, 329, 301, 264, 243, 218, 189, and that stopped. That failed to cycle on that one. So that did not pick up a round, and that is the CO2 cartridge spent. So right there, we're getting 29 as opposed to that like 74 were we on the other one. Obviously, the FPS was a lot higher to start with, but the variation went from 450 down to 189. So that's a really, really big change. So right there, what it's kind of telling me, and I don't know if you guys agree, although I don't know how you can't agree, is that this basically is saying, okay, right, you could use this like a DMR kind of thing for a few shots with the CO2. And maybe if you were training and wanted harder recoil, that would be better. But you're getting 1.5 mags out of a CO2 cartridge, and you're getting a full, A full 3 mags out of it if it is if it's in the green gas. So even though I said the actual recoil on the green gas is a lot better, on the CO2 is a lot better, I don't know. I think maybe I'm going back to the green gas camp of, if you really want to use this out in the field, and it's going to be one of those long games, you know, where, you know, you may take the gas out with you, take some BBs out there with you to reload. It might make more sense to work with it as a green gas gun. But if you're in cold climates, you need that CO2 because it's not going to get the gas cool down. Now, we didn't get green gas cool down there, but we definitely got a change in the pressure out of the CO2 mag from the beginning to the end. There is some coolness to the mag right there. Coolness. The mag is fairly cold. I'm going to leave it. How many rounds have we got? Okay, so I'm just going to do the RPS, or the rounds per second, with this, and we'll see what that's like on here. Okay, so we're going to go with the rounds per second. This is going to be on full auto. CO2. Okay, so it's saying 14.3 is that. That seems slow to me. Okay, so that's got the bolt lock there. Let me just do this quickly. So we're going to go with 2 5s. Yeah, so it's saying 10 rounds per second, which is wrong on that. So 14 also seems slow. I don't know why it's saying that right now. That's kind of a waste. There's another 18 rounds in here. See, it's going to slam shut again. No, it didn't that time. If I'm seems like if I'm quite gentle with it, then it's going to be better. So that's just counting the rounds that's going through. Okay, let's go with this again. Let's see. So that again is saying 3.6, 4.5. So I think, I don't know, this isn't registering that properly. It's gone down to 121 FPS there. And 7.3. So that did get bolt lock there, but I'm not convinced that that is that's accurate. I mean, we can probably play, if you want to, just listen to what the sound is like. I'm sorry that that's not really coming out properly. It could just be because the BBs are firing so hard that it's not, but it's saying about 14 rounds per second is what that was calling it at. It feels faster to me than that. I may be wrong. Okay, so we have, so this is something to bear in mind. You can see how many BBs you have left. I mentioned that in kind of, I think, our first video, but you can see the spring running down. So I actually know exactly how many BBs I have in there, which I quite love because it's not obvious it's there. I think if you've got that actually in the replica, no one's really going to notice, but it's definitely something I think is kind of great. Okay, so that didn't release the bolt that time, so I've released it. This is going to be with our green gas. We'll have a go with the rounds per second. Okay, so that's saying 10.1. Okay, that's 6.5. So I might think that this is a little bit cold, this mag. I might try and do it with a new one. Just do that quickly. I think if this is a green gas mag, because that mag cooldown is going to affect it. So I'm going to put the green gas into this guy. You can hear that noise. So as soon as that hissing stops, that's kind of where, or if I hear it to kind of start to come out, that's where I'm going to put it in. So that's a newly gassed green gas mag. Again, it's going to be quite cold. So we're probably not going to get the full rounds per second that we would get. But we will see what we can do. So again, I put that in, it didn't release the bolt, so I'm releasing it there. Okay. So that's 12. So I think we're going from about 14 rounds per second to 12 rounds per second. So this is firing slower, although when that is, you know, not a freshly gassed mag, I think it could be similar. So I'm thinking, you know, it's going to be similar rounds per second. I think the CO2 is going to fire harder, up to 100 FPS harder. The consistency does not seem as good on the CO2, and the gas capacity is definitely better on the green gas. So if you're wanting a ton of recoil, I would go with this bad boy. The CO2, I think that means that you are going to get tons of, like, that. It just feels really good on CO2. I think the wearing on the actual replica is going to be worse. I don't know why I'm still wearing that. The wearing on the replica is going to be worse because it's hitting that bolt harder. But the green gas mags on this do seem to be really, really good in both consistency, keeping it at that 320 FPS. When I did a constant fire, I think it varied from, 320 down to 290. And that was to over 74 shots. So 3 full mag dumps on semi-auto. That's what you were looking at. So if it's me, guys, and it's for gameplay, I'm going to go with the green gas. If it is for realism and getting some cool recoil, it's going to be CO2. Hope that guy is helpful, guys. I'm going to just mag dump this guy at the end. It's a really, really cool replica. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you on the next video, which will probably be tomorrow. Have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.